With Governor DeWine and the CDC now recommending everyone wear those non-medical face masks, many of you are making them at home. But can the fabrics that you choose make a difference here, and should some maybe be avoided? Lynna Lai turned to the experts for answers.
So you're following health guidelines and making a cloth covering for your face, whether sewing your own.
2 rubber bands, one on one side and one on the other side.
Or doing the no-sew fabric and rubber bands approach, as demonstrated by U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams. But the fabric that you choose could make the difference.
Look for fabric that you have in your house which has the densest weave pattern.
University of Akron Dean of Polymer Science, Dr. Ali Denoja Wallace, suggests putting the fabric to the light test. If light easily passes through, so can a virus. The National Institute of Safety and Health studied how well different materials filter out particles. T-shirts had 10% efficiency. Scarves had 10 to 20%. Sweatshirts, 20 to 40%. And towels were the most effective with 40%. Most medical masks have a 30 to 50% efficiency, not including the N95, which has at least 95% efficiency. Now about those videos you may have seen all over social media using HEPA furnace filters or vacuum bags to make homemade masks. A word of warning, some HEPA materials contain fiberglass, which may pose a threat if inhaled.
Breathing in the material can be harmful. Protecting it by putting it in between 2 fabrics would be advisable.
That is, using the filter as an insert instead of directly on your skin is a better idea. And don't forget, you have to wash it. The CDC says a regular washing machine and drying on high heat should do the job. You can also soak it in a mix of 1 part bleach and 3 parts water. Rinse well and dry. Lynna Lai, 3 News.